I think it is difficult to talk about the Mau without speaking to the important issue of injustice in this country. Round about the time of independence, the British government and the World Bank created a fund which they called the Settlement Transfer Scheme. This scheme was so abused because whereas it was supposed to benefit black people, Kenyans, to possess what was then owned by the white settlers, it was abused by politicians and wealthy people to the extent, and with all due respect, this is a historical fact, it is documented, it is even in the Forbes magazine typifying the richest people of this country. And because of that, the Kenyatta family ended up owning 500,000 acres of land. Because of that abuse of this World Bank British government funded program. Now, subsequent politicians, when they have come into power, they have looked at that and said, if one family then used that opportunity to unjustifiably get land for themselves, people have looked at political power as an opportunity to acquire tracts of land, of public land. Because the Mau was not settled by white colonists, it then became available to satisfy this greed that we are talking to. I'm lucky that on this panel, I'm the only one who was there. In 2009, after these arguments raised by my brother Molo and Cheruyot and many others who are not on this panel, Parliament took a decision. And I voted on that day. And Raila voted on that day. And Ruto voted on that day. And Uhuru voted on that day. The decision was, considering many things, Parliament resolved that large-scale and small-scale landowners in the Mau would be compensated. Armed with that, Prime Minister Raila Odinga decided that it must be implemented. And Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Uhuru Kenyatta, refused. That Treasury was not going to release money to compensate these people because he called it was tantamount to gaming. Uhuru preferred that people not be paid, and Raila wanted that people be paid. Raila came on one Wednesday to Parliament and told Parliament that Treasury had set aside 2 billion shillings to start the compensation exercise. It never took place. Reason being, the people who have got political power and bureaucrats who own land in that place and are politically correct made it difficult for that to take place. The intention at that time was that the government, as the Prime Minister told us in Parliament that afternoon, wanted to recover 103,000 hectares found in the Masai Mau forest, which has got 20,000 hectares, southwestern Mau forest, which has got 19,000 acres, the East Mau forest, which has got 30,000 Mau, and so on and so forth. This was frustrated. So now, Tobiko, because he wants to look like he's a working minister, he thinks that this is a matter which is new. This is not a matter which is new. He needs to go back to the documents that have been tabled by Cheruyot and other documents at his disposal to bring himself on the same page with those people in the Mau. Nobody went into the Mau by force, especially the small-scale people. What they were doing at home, for example, in Kipsikis, they would sell 4 acres of land, for example. And because in the Mau land was very cheap, they would then go and buy a bigger portion. And they were being given title deeds. So when you go to those people with their children and you kick them out. And the children are supposed to sit exams, and Amolo wants to say that we are pontificating. Amolo, you must know, I know your children, and you know mine. They go to very good schools. They're going to sit exams. The children of the poor are also sitting the same exam with these children. So as we support the eviction of people from the Mau, we should put their conditions. And the first condition should be that we will not die if we stand down the exercise for the next 2-3 months, children to clear with the exams, and during the long holidays, a decision be made on how we can evict these people, one compromise.
Thank you.
The second one, no, this is a very important matter.
I know, but also we need to distribute time.
The second issue, Dibal, that which is a condition, is that we want to see that the exercise to remove people is not focusing only on the 50,000 so-called squatters, small people. We want the exercise to focus most on the large-scale earners. I don't know why you're finding it difficult to name the owner, the people who have settled in the Mau, the politicians. Daniel Moi owns 2,333 acres on which he has put a tea factory at Kipta Gich. It is there. Sakayo Jeriot, Olen Tutu, Nyachae, and other families.
So you see their title deeds?
They own that land. So if the government is sincere, instead of these pictures we are seeing of children of the poor being chased around with goats, we want to see that factory of the former president being pulled down. Then we shall know this is justice.
Okay.